So I'm the director of My Society, and that's a charity that runs civic and democratic websites in the UK and around the world. And that means websites that help people do things like work out who are my politicians, how do I get in touch with them, what do they do, how do they vote, what do they say, that sort of useful service for members of the public. So our mission is to invent and popularise digital tools, websites and apps that give power to members of the public, power that they can exert over politicians or people in government civil services. And that just means things like the power to know who to vote for, the power to demand that something gets fixed in your street and to chase it until it is fixed, that sort of thing. Probably worth saying that the organisation I run as a charity, it therefore doesn't take any partisan political positions, nevertheless, this Richard's project, it's interesting because it is trying to innovate in the way that MPs relate to the people who vote for them. And it's all about that. It's not actually, as it were, about the NHS or isn't about immigration. The whole of his project is about that relationship and whether or not it can be improved. And to me, that's a worthwhile place to be trying to innovate today. There's no doubt at all at the moment that the career of an MP is very much determined by their willingness to continually and unthinkingly follow the party line to do exactly whatever it is they're told, and if they do that as much as possible, then they will have some prospect of becoming a minister of some kind. And if they don't, by and large, they'll be a pariah and will never be anything beyond a backbencher. Yes, there are quite strong rules that say, yes, by all means you talk to these people and you listen to them and you know what's going on, but when push comes to shove, you fundamentally do what the party, the head office tells you to.
So they're really trapped in the party whipping system.
Yeah, the only people who are not trapped is that minority of MPs, and they do definitely exist, who just say, I don't particularly want to be Foreign Secretary, I don't want to be Prime Minister, I will, as it were, just listen to my constituents. But given that the process of being an MP is so horrible, becoming an MP is horrible, being an MP is horrible, it's a horrible job, pretty much the only kind of nice and fun thing is to sort of become Prime Minister and fly around the world. Therefore, it's fairly natural that a lot of them would therefore listen more to their political masters, to the whips, and less to the public, because that way lies the better paid, more interesting jobs. When I hear people say, we are representatives, that is right, they often speak it as if it is sort of handed down from a mountain on a stone slate, as if that speech by Burke is sort of sacred rather than merely a politician, a political thinker expressing a view. Also, I feel that it is willfully interpreted to mean you vote for me as a representative and you give away all power for the next 4 or 5 years. You never in any way, shape or form have any ability to stop me no matter what I do. That to me strikes me as clearly that's a position, that's an interpretation that's been chosen to make life convenient for MPs. And the real question, the question that Richard and this whole movement is asking is, do you have to give away all campaigns to representatives? Can you not believe in representative democracy and the idea of representation and say, well, we don't actually want you to have 100% of it. How about only 95% of the power or only 90% of the power? Isn't that reasonable? So that's what's so interesting about this. I think that a politician who has to take a vote to Parliament from their constituents that they don't believe in themselves, I don't see that as being particularly torturous. That's like being a postman who delivers something that they don't agree with. It's just you're just a conduit. I think they'll get over it. The question of might they be outvoted by their constituents and then actually choose to not express that opinion, I would like to see that got round through a legal agreement. I would like it to essentially, I'd like these referendums, whatever they turn out to be, whatever the percentages of people required to vote in them, however they work, the one thing I would definitely like to see is that the effect is binding on MPs. Otherwise, I don't quite see the point of doing that.